right, a very good afternoon. We have to continue from where we stopped in the previous class, and we are still on unseen poem. So we really have to do this to bring you to bring the interpretation little bit by bit, so that we'll be able to generate a greater understanding of exactly what we are talking about. This is unseen poetry, and this is very important. And remember that in literature we believe in the generation of meaning. Language is the power, and that is the tool that we make use of in literature. Now, unseen poem. We made mention of the fact that this poem consists of 14 lines. And we are going to do a kind of line-by-line analysis of the poem. And right in the previous class, we made mention of the fact that we believe in generation of meaning, and we're trying to do that by saying that this poem is all about Africa. And there is no way you talk about Africa, the contemporary Africa, without bringing to bear the historical event that brought about the present Africa. Now, the experiences of Africa mirror and portray in this poem. And this, of course, will give us the ability to generate that meaning we are trying to lay our hand upon. Now, the first line of the poem says, "In your presence, I have rediscovered my name." So this poem is celebrating Africa as a continent, the experiences of Africa. And when you look at the personal pronoun here, I, first person singular. You see the personal here, the speaker here is the I. That is experience, one singular experience, one person experience, trying to talk about Africa. Now say, in your presence, talking to Africa as if Africa were a human being present before him. Now say, in your presence, that is Africa here, I have rediscovered my name. Remember that we have Africans who have left the soul of Africa to go all the way to leave Africa and go to the white lands. Now said, after the separation, I have divorced you, Africa. Now I have discovered my name. Right? I have abandoned your value. Now I have these kind of nostalgic feelings towards you. That Africa, I know I have seen in you the value. Now I have rediscovered my name, the identity, my identity as an African. So here, the speaker says, in your presence, I have seen in you my identity. I have rediscovered my name. So I am lost, or I was lost. Now I have found myself. I have seen my identity as an African. Celebrating African here. The second line now says, my name that was hidden so long under the pain of separation. You see the emphasis, pain of separation. African that abandoned African ways of life. Having understood that what we have done by abandoning African ways of life, our belief system, our philosophies, our thinking faculties, it was a big mistake. Now my name that was hidden so long, now say under the pain of separation. So I've decided to leave the African continent and catapulted myself to the continent of the whites. Now I have seen this, that was a grievous mistake. Now say my name that was hidden so long under the pain of separation, I have rediscovered. The eyes no longer fill with fever. So this pain of separation is talking about the relationship between Africa and the European ways of life and value system and all that. Now said, and your laughter you can see here is talking about Africa. The importance, the significance of the values and philosophy and ways of life, tradition and culture of Africa symbolize laughter, happiness and joy and predilection. Now say, and your laughter, that is Africa, personification of Africa. Now comparing the use of simile, like a flame piercing the shadows. So here, the shadows here is what represents ignorance. The era of ignorance. You see? So by of course, separates myself as an African, living African source, African values and tradition and norms and ways of life philosophy. Now embracing unknowingly another people culture, far and way far between the culture of Africa. Now, the shadow, the ignorance, a flame piercing the shadow. I have understood the truth of the matter. My eyes have been filled with fever, have been healed. And I am healed and strong. Now I have seen the true color of Africa. I reveal the flame, the ignorance of the past and the pain of the past. So now continue to say, as revealed Africa, now emphasis on Africa, as revealed African to me, beyond the snows of yesterday. Now the snows of yesterday, where do you find snows? That is Europe. Now say, the snows of yesterday, that is the ignorance of embracing the norms, the value, the culture, ways of life of the whites, colonial masters. Now I have seen, as revealed African to me, my identity, my bond with Africa. And the pain of separation mentioned in the second line. See? Now say, now how many years as the person that the speaker has left Africa? Now this is revealed to us here. Line number 6. Now say 10 years, my love. That Africa is my love. I am in love with Africa. Everything in Africa. I must embrace everything in Africa. I must see, value, cherish, and adore my relationship, my bond with Africa. Now say 10 years, my love. 10 years of separation. Pains of separation. 10 years, my love. Africa is my love. I love Africa. Somebody says, I love Africa. I'll say, with days of illusions and abandoned ideas, we are talking about those Africans in the past. You know, Europeans, colonial masters, when you look at the French colony, you see the French people colonized some part of Africa, and they have what we say, what? You have to embrace our culture, and you abandon African ways of life. You eat our meal, you wear our cloth, right? You think the way we think. Now call this what? Pains of separation. Now say, with days of illusion, say this is dishonesty, lack of loyalty on the part of Africans to have abandoned the ideas, the important, significant, vital values of African, the cultures of African, the tradition of Africa. Now went all the way down to embrace with a streak of ignominy and ignorance than another people's culture. In our sense here, say days of illusion and abandoned ideas, African values, belief system. Now said, sleep restless with alcohol. So this line is telling you, where do you find alcohol? The only thing you can find in Africa is palm wine. But when you say alcohol, it's talking about European ways of life. It now said, now sleep restless, there is no peace of mind. By embracing the white people culture, this is exactly what this man is telling you. Because there is restlessness with embracing their alcohol, their culture, their ways of life. You know, say 10 years of suffering, not call it suffering. That 10 years of suffering, by the abandonment of Africans' ways of life, the only thing African will have experienced is nothing but suffering, problematic experiences. Now said, 10 years of suffering pour on me from the world's breath, and turns love into a boundless river. So with these experiences, horrible experiences, I've been able to see the true colors of Africa. You see, now the suffering and what I've learned so many lessons. Now my love of Africa has become what? A boundless river. The love I have of Africa has no end. I'll say, in your presence, I have rediscovered the memory of my blood. I have rediscovered my true color, my identity with Africa. You know, said the necklace of laughter hung around our days. That the only way that Africa as a continent can have progress, can have joy, can have all sorts of joy experiences is by abandoning foreign imposed cultures and now see the importance of embracing African tradition, norms, and values. So this is the only way we can say laughter wrong all our days. That is, the future will be brighter and happier. Now say days sparkling with ever new joys. That is it. This is the point for you. So the point is telling you that it's actually celebrating African and condemning European ways of life. This is the point for you. Now let's talk about the stages of African literature to be able to further dissect the thematic concern of this poem. Now you are told, right in the previous class, that African experiences, that Africa, we have stages of transformation and progress. And this, of course, dictates the tone, the mood, the atmosphere, the setting of Africa. So the first question that you will ask is, what do you consider to be the subject matter of this poem? The subject matter of this poem, of course, is the celebration of Africa and condemnation of European ways of life. Then what is the second question? Now, what is the tone of the poem? What is the tone of the poem? Remember that tone is a language used to express the mood of a particular text. So when you look at the language here, the language here, is it critical? You see, the language is what, of course, celebrates. Right? The tone is what is convivial. It's not bitter. Right? But the tone is what is didactic. The tone is didactic. Teaching us moral lessons. And celebration. Celebrates what? Celebrative tone. That is celebrative tone. Now, also the question, I think we have many questions here. We still have the question that says, now, I want to see the question that says something like, identify four figures of speech in the poem. Identify four figures of speech in the poem. Now, let's look at how we can identify four figures of speech in the poem. The first line here, in your presence. You see, we have in your presence here. This is what we call apostrophe. Because it addresses Africa as if Africa were present here. This is what we call what? Apostrophe. In your presence, that is apostrophe. So we have to identify four figures of speech. Another figure of speech we have here is the highs. This is what we call synecdoche. It's when a word, a part represents a whole. The highs. Alright? And of course we have another figure of speech we have, the snow of yesterday, that is metaphorical. That is metaphor. Metaphor. And another figure of speech we have repetition. We have repetition. You can see here we have your presence, repetition, right? We discovered, and rediscover, we see repetition, and rediscover, we see repetition, right? And then we see repetition, rediscover. There's suffering, we see repetition of suffering. We mix the repetition, suffering, right? And then I discover here also, you see repetition, right? In what? In the poem. So another question, what indication do we get as to whom the speaker is addressing in the poem? What indication do we get as to whom the speaker is addressing in the poem? Who do you think the speaker is addressing in the poem? The speaker, of course, is addressing Africa and Africans, you can say. Right? Why do we say they say what? It's the use of your, now say, repeat African to me here. Made us to what? To understand that what the poem is what? Is talking about Africa. This poem is what? is talking about Africa. This is the indication we've gotten from here. Why does the speaker concentrate on details of his past life? Because the past explains the present. And because of the pains of the past, the speaker really wants us to learn and to see that in Africa we have our own value system. Not as if that what the white people are saying about Africa are true. So he really wants us to learn and to see why it is important to embrace African values and ways of life. This is why the speaker concentrates on details of his past life. Now, what is the central device used by the poet? That is the last question. What is the central device? That is to say, the device that is highly predominant in the poem. So when you look at it, you see that, in fact, repetition is the central device used in this poem. How do we get to know that? Repetition of in your present, we see that. See? You see, in your present, of course, we see this, of course. And every discover, you see repetition of that. And then we see repetition of what? Suffering. You see, every discover. So repetition is what? Is a predominant or central device used in the poem. Of course, this is where we're going to stop. And thank you so much for watching. I love you. And make sure you will watch the video all over again. I wish you best of luck. Bye for now.